So the previous video, I uh, discussed about how to do this user sign up validations, and now let me implement these user login validations as well. Okay. Yeah. So it's pretty much same uh, in registration, but there are several stuff that we need to uh, recreate, such as these user session implementations and things like that. Okay. Right. So in the login session, again, I will take the server data as the request method, right? So if the request method is post post, I need to validate the form. Okay, or let's say form is submitting, else form is in the initial state, right? Or initial form. So initial form will be having following data, namely the name as empty, and not the name, email, right? Email and the password. Okay, give me a second. Yeah. So where did I left? Over here, right? So give me a second. Okay. So initially the password is also empty and email error also empty and password error also empty. And initially we need to load what view? Um, share form. So initially we load which view? This sort of a view, right? But now it's login. Yeah, now I can try that out. Okay, now use. But now I have to feed this data to the corresponding positions of the form, right? Um, Over here, a value will be PHP echo data name. Likewise, sorry, not the name, email. Likewise, over here, it must be password, right? Password. Then the errors also there. So this is email error. This is the password error. Okay. So yeah, the value thing not need to be there. Okay, cool. Then we can process the form, right? If it is submitting. So if the form is submitting, yeah, the form is submitting. First, filter input array, input post, and filter sanitize, not the URL but the string. Then yeah, we can take the data uh, like before over here. So this is email and this is password. Okay, then we can validate the email. Basically, um, initially we can check whether the email is empty or not, right? So if data email is empty, we can simply say that data email error as is enter the email. If it is not empty, we have to check that whether this email is exist or not, right? So if it is not empty, then this user model, I think this one, then pass the corresponding email. The row count is greater than 0, right? Or we need to greater than 0. User is found. If it returns to true, then user is found. If it is not returning true, which means the user is not found, user is not found. Therefore, we can invoke another error like user not found. Okay. So that's for the email. And for the password, initially we can check whether the password is empty or not. Okay. Um, yes. Give me a second. Okay. Yeah. So you can validate the password. If the password is empty, then we can simply say is enter the password, right? And if no errors found, then login the user. So if I need to check whether this email error is empty and password error is empty. If those are empty, then basically I can log the user, right? So how can I do that? I think we need to Again, yeah, again we need to check the password because the password is already hashed and the user is entering a plain password. So we need to rehash it again and compare the hashes that we stored in the database as well. So if the hashes are matches, then the login is granted. Okay, so go to your M users and let me create a new function called login the user. So public function login and which email and which password. So the query is basically select all from the users where email equals equal and everything is like same. But now we need to hash password, take the hash password and we need to take the stored password in the database. Uh, then we can password verify. Okay, so these are default functions uh, in built in the PHP. Then we can check whether these hashes are matching. So if matching, then we return a row. Else, if the password are not matching, then we return false. Right? Okay. Then if it's returning either row or false, I can log the user. Right? So how can I log the user? Basically, let me define another variable called logged user. So I have to call this model with this function and the email and the password need to be passed as parameters. In this case, this is email and password are passed as parameters, right. Then I can check this log user thing over here. So if it is granting, then user is authenticated, so I can create user sessions. Okay, so I will show you how to create user sessions in a while, but for now let's comment it over there. Else, now the user is not granted, so we can invoke error, means password incorrect, and yeah, and we can redirect the user back, or not the redirect to the user, but we can uh, show the errors to the users, right? So it is basically load view with errors, and if there exist errors, means obviously we need to load view with errors, right? Okay, now if the user is working correctly, access granted die message will be shown. Okay, these are just for testing purposes, and the user is found, nothing will be happen. Right, I guess that's it. So go over there. So remember, in my table I have this email, so I will just copy it, and sorry, maybe I will enter it. Then I have to enter the correct password over here. If the password is correctly entered, then access is granted. So imagine I entered some sort of a wrong password, then it will say password is incorrect. And if I enter some person that is not in the database, it will say user not found. But if I enter the correct credentials, then access is granted. Okay, so that's how login works. And the next video I will show you how to create these user sessions and how to redirect more flexible way to the other controllers as well. But for this episode, I think these stuffs will be enough. And yeah, thank you.